We have a massive free agent update for you. Warriors Digest here. Klay Thompson, our biggest free agent. We know his timeline now. Reportedly through Anthony Slater. We're going to break it all down for you on this episode. Before we dive into it, I hope you're enjoying NBA playoffs because we are, even though we're not in it, it's still really good. We have so many rumors coming daily to Warriors Digest. Please subscribe so you don't miss anything. Klay Thompson's free agency. Slater said in his article with The Athletic, there's a sense Klay's taking a couple extra months to assess his future and decide where he wants to continue. If the Warriors use Paul's contract in a trade that brings back a large salary, it'd be a signal that Klay could be on the move. So let's break that down for you. Every video we're showing this because this is clutch. It's key. Right now, we're at the committed salary of $174 million without Chris Paul signed to his non-guaranteed contract in Klay Thompson's free agency. Joe Lacob, the owner, wants to get below the second apron, $190 million. Ideally, they're below the first apron, $178. Again, if you're just coming out of the cave, I know you Warrior Digest fans, you know this stuff. We've been paying a lot of money in taxes, luxury tax, highest of anybody basically in the league the past 4 or 5 years. If you're not in the playoffs, there's no point to pay that. So what that thing is saying is, from Slater, Chris Paul, $30 million. If you sign him and then do a sign and trade, you bring that back in, that puts us over the 174 at 204. Meaning, signing Klay puts you already into the second apron if you do that. Now, if Chris walks away, you're still at the 174. And again, I'm not talking about Gary Payton and Dario. But then you could get Klay for potentially $10 million and you're still below the second apron. $15 million, adding nobody else, and you're still below the second apron. So that is what Slater is saying right here. If Paul's contract is traded to bring back a large salary, then boom. Know that if they're trying to go under the second luxury tax, Klay may be a casualty. And maybe he's okay with that. And he said, I want to do something different, do what's best for you. Or maybe the Warriors are making a decision for themselves. But everything we've been told, Steve Kerr, Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy Jr., all the press conferences, we want Klay back. The question is, what does Klay want? Money, role, lifestyle, final offer? Orlando's out there. You saw them come back from Cleveland. At this time, it's 2-2. They could use some shooting, veteran presence. Somebody who's won a championship. Lakers, you've seen what's happened with D'Lo in this playoffs. Is that somewhere they let him go? They bring him in. Again, he's not a point guard, so Lakers were still needing a point guard, but he can be the person to help AD, LeBron, put him next to Reeves. A lot of shooting on the floor at that point. Doesn't have to do as much effort. Earlier video, we talked about Dallas would love him. Again, they're kind of right there on the cusp. 3, doesn't have to play as much defense as he would at potential in the Warriors. Again, does he want to come off the bench? Start? He loves the Bay. He loves his boat. Does he want to leave the Bay? Go to Southern California, Central Florida, Dallas, Central Texas, or Central East Texas? Whatever. Or somewhere else. New York? Mecca? You never know. So the question is, what does he want? And he really hasn't said anything. He's always talked about being a diehard Warrior, loving being with the Warriors organization, what they provided him, given him. He knows what it means, like with Kobe, Dirk, Tim Duncan, to be a one-teamer for life. That doesn't happen anymore. I think he really respects that. So the question is, Klay's over his prime, but you have his gravity, what he means to the organization, his toughness, shooting, still can play defense, but not on the same level. Fair enough. What's going to happen? Free agency starts July 1st. So we will know probably June 25th, a week before. You always hear the rumors. And of course, subscribe here, Warriors Digest. We'll have all that for you of what's happening. They even did it, obviously, in the past. There was tampering issues. Now you can start to talk to players before free agency starts, a couple days before, so you can sign at the dotted line on midnight. So we'll know. Right now it's April 28th. We'll know in basically May 28th, June 28th, 2 months. He's eligible for a contract extension. He did not sign the extension given to him. before the season. 2 years, $48 million. $24 million a year. $24 million a year. Nope. Nada. Not signing it. Looking for that max contract. I think he shot himself in the foot. And Warriors fans, comment. Do you agree? By not taking that contract. $24 million a year. One, would put us over what we just talked about, the tax threshold. And two, his performance this season did not live up to $24 million a year. We look. 17 points a game. Basically his worst output since 2013. He came off the bench. Started a bit. Season was really bad the first half. Came on the second. And the sour taste in the mouth. And again, it's just one game. Kerr talked about it. It's one game. Did not score against the Kings in the playoffs. Excuse me, not even playoffs. Play-in game. The first of two. But across the board, you can see his stats were relatively down. However, free throw shooting, 93%. Best he's ever did. Clap. That's really good. I respect that. So again, he did not sign that extension. Nothing was signed throughout the year. So free agency starts July 1st. We'll know around June 25th, June 30th, that week, what's happening. If we hear trades happening, we hear rumblings, we'll probably know which way Klay and the Warriors are going. And finally, again, if the Warriors use Paul's contract in the sign and trade, we'll know what they're thinking. So this means two things. Either A, F it, second apron, we don't care. We're going to try to compete now. If, say, they can get a Zach LaVine, somebody high level to compete, they put a second scorer next to Steph, so Klay can come off the bench, do his three, start in spots. Would he be okay with that? Think so if the chances to win. He loves winning, and he loves winning. Secondly, the other way is they do that trade, sign and trade with CP3's contract, and we're going to know because they're not trying to compete. They don't want to go over that second apron, which again is the $189 million that they're going to let Klay walk, which would be so sad. Sad. I hope he stays. And what do you think? When we look at the Warriors, second highest scorer on the team this season, almost 18 points a game, averaging 30 minutes. Now the question is, as Klay is your second scorer at this point in the career, is that enough to win you a championship? Probably not. Fair enough. It's not. You're going to need somebody else to come in there. Or you need to replace somebody like a Wiggins with a scorer, a good three-point shooter. A lot of people in the comments curse the same thing. We need size. Interior size. So how do you potentially maybe get rid of CP3 and Wiggins and get a tall man in the post? What could be done there to help out, space the floor, but really help with shot blocking and rebounds? But there's not much here. Steph Curry is making $50 million a year. Kuminga, I think, is untradeable. We had a video about that. Brandon, untradeable. Great rookie, will be on the all-rookie team. Probably second team. I think he deserves first. Draymond's contract. 3 years, $75 million left. Do you potentially trade that? Again, we talked about it in other videos. And you guys have been very, very vocal. Draymond, so we're going to have to find out. But again, it comes down to June 30th. Free agency period, conversation start. We will most likely know in that week leading up, starting June 25th, what is happening to Klay Thompson. Do you agree Warriors should re-sign him? Tax threshold, regardless, we'd let him walk. Comment your thoughts. Of course, subscribe here. We can keep it real with you on Warriors Digest. We'll see you on the next video.